Hello and welcome. I'm Thomas Marcoux, a researcher at Cosmos, the Collaboratorium for Social Media and Online Behavioral Studies, and I'll be discussing our work on the narrative trends of COVID-19 misinformation. So Cosmos is a lab directed by Dr. Nitin Agarwal, located at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. And for this research, we were working in partnership with the Arkansas Attorney General out of concern for misinformation affecting everyone, and especially the elderly and anybody that is not doesn't have good digital literacy. So let me start by showing you exactly what it is we have produced with this study. So we made what we call topic streams, and these topic streams are a visualization of the chronological evolution of the different narratives, different stories, different fake news being pushed to the online sphere. So, for example, here you can see very quickly that at the beginning of 2020, all of these keywords were present in online discussions. China government lab, essentially discussion on whether the virus was man-made and where did it come from. And this kind of went down as time passed. However, if you look at this graph really quickly here, it shows that scams, pandemic, so this shows the evolution of hoaxes, identity theft, people trying to take advantage of the chaos. So the utility of these graphs is to give some context to policymakers. It allows them to visualize quickly impossibly large data sets in order to make informed decisions on their on their policies. So this would be impossible without tools that are able to go through millions of tweets, thousands of headlines, essentially like information that is much too large for any single or team of analysts. And this is also useful for other experts, journalists, political scientists, sociologists, anybody that is trying to make sense of a large data set. So our data set for this particular study, of course, focuses on COVID. We had isolated 243 unique misinformation narratives, and these were gathered using a wide array of, by our team, using a wide array of news aggregators. So we tried to be as impartial as possible when it came to what was fake news or what wasn't. Meaning that we went with the scientific consensus and what third-party news fact checkers were reporting. So let me show you quickly what that looks like on our website that is accessible here. So this is our COVID-19 response website. As I mentioned earlier, this was done in a partnership with the Attorney General, and our main concern here was to make the website accessible and informative for the people who needed it most. So for some of the attendees, this may seem, some of this may seem obvious. For example, we have tips here, and let me start by showing you the tips page before I go back to our data set. If I click here, it'll take me to this long list of tips that usually come from the Attorney General's office. Some of them are also from news website. There are some also by banks, Bank of America, about how to avoid having your credit card hacked and things like this. And in fact, I can Do a quick search here. And here, a bunch of banking information. So this comes up really quickly. The idea here is to give people a very quick resource that lets them check the information they see. So for example, about personal protective equipment. Things like this. So that came straight from the Attorney General's office. We have a lot of tips such as these. And so to go back to our data set, it has now grown to over 600 items, and they look like this. So for each of our entries in our data set, we looked at these titles. So these were, this is a bare-bone narrative as compiled by our news gathering team. So you can see them, and same principle here. This quickly filters your fake news, and if you click here, you will see what third party has debunked the false claim and where this news is usually being spread. But for our study, we focused on these titles. We also looked at themes, so meaning that for each of these titles, we also had a short list of keywords. So for a title like this, it would be hydroxychloroquine, and this would probably be it for this keyword. What we found was that using themes or full title performed similarly, which is very good news because this will allow us to kind of expand this study to more complex titles, such as news titles, Twitter posts, etc. And to kind of conclude this short demo of the website, so you have 4 menus here. Press are just press articles where the website was mentioned, but these reports are public reports that were made to the Arkansas Attorney General, and they are available to the public here and go into a little bit more detail. So, which brings me to the method we use to compile these topic streams and send them back. So, to get topic streams, we use NLP techniques, which uses topic modeling. Some of you familiar with natural language processing may know about topic modeling. It is not a new technique by any means. This is a statistical technique that isolates latent topics from a collection of documents. So like I say here, so for example, for our set of misinformation stories, we aim to get about 20 topics, and each of these topics were defined by a set of words, like I mentioned, like I shown in the above figures. For example, China government lab Russia used and created is one topic. So let me go into a little bit more detail here. First of all, for topic modeling, there are different models available. It is an older technique, so it started in the 80s with latent semantic analysis, LSA. But for this study, we use kind of the very reliable model, which is called LDA, latent directed allocation. There are some newer models. The main difference between these two models is that with LDA, we, the researchers, have to kind of guess how many different topics are expected from one corpus. HDP attempts to make its own guess as to how many topics will be found in the corpus. And then there are even newer models that use a neural network for even greater performances. And this is a fantastic little, here is the full article, but this is a fantastic little illustration that shows exactly how LDA works. So this is very simple. If each document has its own tokens, These tokens will be assigned to their representative topics, and then each topic, each document has an appropriate chance to be categorized as belonging to that topic. So for example, if you look at document 0 here, the little bread images, they are associated with topic 2, and we find that document 0 has a 93% chance of belonging to topic 2. And this is what it looks like for our study, except we have indexed each document by its publication date, or the when it appears. So each of these are one document. We only care about the timeline of when it was published, because we're trying to represent it on a chart like this. These numbers, like I've shown above in a much prettier way, represent the chance that at a given date, so for example, on March the 4th here, very high chance that this story belonged to topic 4, 68%. And so if we index all of these documents and plot them using some degree of smoothing, because we're most interested in the patterns of the graph rather than every individual bump. This allows us not to find always very high percentage of the topic appearing. It's only 7%, it's not much, but you can see that there is interesting movement here. And this is how we created the COVID misinformation topic streams that I presented earlier. The next step for this tool is, first of all, it's always being updated. It is used for a lot of different studies in our lab. It may become public soon. We for now it's a single script, but we would like to make it available online, and also integrate some newer and more advanced topic modeling models. And also, this is an interesting new study. This is an article called Beyond Tokens. And what it tries to do is, instead of representing models with a list of keywords, it tries and creates sentences and make it a little bit more descriptive. So pushed to its limit, with very new models and technologies like this, we could point this tool towards any social media and gather a precise topic, a precise idea that it represents over time. And that concludes the presentation. Thank you for your attention.